All right, guys. So again, this is just pretty much your basic intro to indicators, right? Like especially if you're very new to trading, you definitely want to stick with at least a few indicators or a few things that you want to learn, that'll help your trading out. You know what I mean? That'll give you at least a nice I want to say good ground gain, right? To start off, even if you're following calls, right? Like again, you don't always have to just start trading and necessarily jump into trading, right? Like I think we all do the same thing, or we all started following, play callers trades, and that'll give us, then we want, especially the ones that at least put up the charts, that gives you at least a good insight of why they're going in, and then you can start dissecting it or breaking it down yourself as the time goes along. So first and foremost, the first thing I really encourage you guys to start with, man, is support and resistance, right? Like, and again, it's basically not an indicator, but I consider it an indicator because it's something that I use very effectively, and it works with all these other indicators that I'm going to show you guys in this class, right? So again, first thing I do whenever I look at a chart like this, right? Like even if we're looking at it right now, okay, the first thing I'm looking for is support and resistance, right? And your basic support is where, it comes down and it bounces, right? Where you have support. So it comes down, bounces. When you can get a few touches like this, one, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? This is why I like to do my zones. But if you're very new to this, or just again, not even really using support and resistance, then very basic, man. You want to start with a nice support line, and again, I have a few touches from like here. I like to get, where you see where these spikes down hit and then it just rises up. That's what I like to look for, right? Like you like to at least get about 3 to 5 touches. So here we have 1, 2, 3 and close to 4 touches where we see it come down, right? Even here it came down a little bit further, but from here it rose up once, bounced twice, 3 times, and the fourth time it really ran, right? So this is again your basic support, right? And again, you want to find at least 3 to 5 touches. The more touches you get, the stronger the support or resistance. Now, resistance, I want to say, I would put about here because again, it's crypto, right? Like sometimes you're gonna see these spikes, and again, you'll see overlapping on the resistance or support, right? But if it continues to come back down, even after spikes like that, and it gives you this, right? It gives you almost like a channel, right? Like a boxed in channel, then you're solid. Okay, it'll give you that little spike above, and again, some levels are a little higher than others, but at least here I can get really good touches and see some really strong resistance points like here, right here, we had real trouble going above it, and right here, we're having real trouble going above that. These are just your rapid, liquidation spikes, right? Like if somebody's shorting here, this is meant to just grab that liquidation because if it was going to continue running, it would have continued running up, right? So being that BTC wants to stay in this range, and this is why I like to box it in like this with your support and your resistance, you'll see this happen, right? You'll see it from the bottom, you'll see it from the top, and again, it's just really designed for that, man. It's designed to take your, hit stop losses, right? Because your basic stop loss would have been above right here, right? Above that high. So that would have been an easy liquidation grab, came right back into your channel, then really resisted there again, resisted here again. So now, that's your resistance, right? At least 3 or 5 touches. Um, so that's the very basic, how I start every chart, man. Every chart, I don't care what it is, whether it's Forex, stocks, options, doesn't matter, right? Like I like to find a good support and resistance system, and once I find that, then I can determine everything else, right? You know, that's you're pretty much your level one, man. Like it's a good support and resistance works with pretty much anything, man. And again, you can always add it with your indicators, MA lines, RSI, MACDs, Bollinger Bands. But again, I really feel like if you guys are really starting to do this, again, if I'm still doing this and this is, I'm going on 3 years trading, I'm telling you that it's that effective, man. Like you'll see, believe it or not, you'll see some rapid reversals hitting off of a nice rejection first, then you'll see any indicator showing you that this is gonna reverse here, or bounce here, right? Like you'll see it numerous amount of times just repeat itself, right? Because again, a lot of these things really do tend to repeat itself. This is why we're able to trade a lot of patterns, certain ways, and use some of these indicators, because you'll see, even on your indicators, you'll see a lot of um, repetitive movements that you can identify. And again, if you use it over and over, you'll be able to see them in your charts. So, any questions so far on support and resistance? If not, I will continue to move on. All right. So again, supporting resistance. Now, once you learn that, I want to say, now I started to throw in and this is more of what I would have done, right? Is my supply zone, right? This is what I started to learn. I want to say I started adding it maybe about 5, 6 months ago. I added it to the arsenal. Hold on, guys, 1 second. I think I forgot to start the event. Uh, Event start. There we go. All right, let's rock. All right, so again, guys, once you learn a good supporting resistance, you're able to spot that really good. You'll see, nice breakouts like this. You'll be able to see them from the bottom for the top. I like to play a lot of breakout trades like that, especially when you're seeing clear direction, right? Like if we're in a nice uptrend, the way we are here on Bitcoin, and you have this boxed in where you have a nice support about down here, resistance at about right here, right? You're seeing how it just boxes in, right? A good clean breakout, and not only a spike, but an actual breakout, would have been a good long to grab around here, right? After that nice spike, passes that, boom, you ride that all the way up to here. This is why you really want to again, just learn your support and resistance, man, because even with this, you'll be able to get a good breakout trades. And those, again, are my favorites, right? Like if you're continuation on a nice uptrend, then obviously you're looking for your breakouts from the top, or you can get really good entries. Your ideal entries on any long would be to always grab it near your support, right? So again, any nice little support entry around down here would have gave you really good profits on this, right? Opposed to, again, your breakout. Your breakouts are always going to be a lot more riskier. So those are the ones that you guys want to really focus on, not investing as much money as you would on a support trade, right? Because even if you look for a breakout trade, you still have to kind of, push your stop loss under this, support or resistance that was a support that was a resistance, right? Turned to a support now. You would have to kind of like put it here. So that's a pretty big drop, which is why you ideally want your entries around your support, right? Because then you can just, if you get a nice little entry right here on a nice spike like this, boom, you can put your stop loss right under this wick. And this is why I do these demand zones, right? So if I do get an entry anywhere in here, boom, stop loss is right under it. And that's how you minimize your losses, right? Again, remember, losses are part of trading. They're going to be there no matter what, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just how you manage it, right? So, if you guys really look at how you manage it correctly, you can do it that way. Okay, you can definitely get it in doing it through there. Hold on, am I not inside? Oh shit, Jesus Christ. Damn, guys, my bad. I thought I was on. I thought I was sitting on. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, the fuck am I in here by myself? Only me and Bye. All right. Here, TL Mac lost stream. Okay, we're back. My apologies. My apologies. All right, guys. Shit. My apologies. All right. So again, support and resistance. So let me make sure this is recording. All right. Support and resistance again, guys. Very, very basic. If you guys want, if you really want to learn about this, I have one good video that I kind of drilled in my head. Um, I want to say shit like 20, almost 30 times, right? Like just to make sure that I really had it down packed. Because again, once you get this basic, support and resistance down packed, it really helps with your other indicators that I'm going to show you guys. A lot of the indicators I'm going to show you I base them off of strong support, strong resistance, or a strong demand zone. And again, even demand zone and supply zones, right? Like that comes in later. I just started adding this, I want to say 6 months ago. Before it was just support and resistance. And that's what they basically are. Only it gives you a zone, right? Like instead of it, just being a basic line that even on your support and resistance, right? They're never going to be exact, like, right? Like they're never going to hit exactly, 23,251.2 and reject. But this is where your zone comes in, right? Like where you can really give you a nice idea of, not only a line but a whole zone, man. It gives you a nice little space of where it can hit inside, for that nice long, right? And then again, even if it breaks these zones, I think I've shown you guys over and over, man, that these zones are just they're it, right? Like I've shown you guys in our Sunday preps, as well as these classes, that when they break, man, they break. When they really have a nice resistance supply zone right here, just like we have right here. Like once it really breaks that zone, like you'll see a nasty run either from the top or from the
Hey,
bottom.
Kenny.
What's
So,
up, brother?
hey, you sharing your screen?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man, are you shitting me? Guys, you guys gotta tell me these things. You gotta tell me. Dude, it was all on and then it just spiked me out. I don't know, for some reason. All right. Apologies,
Yeah,
guys.
I
All right.
just joined and I was like, what the hell are they streaming?
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. Guys,
Yeah.
tell me this, man. All right, can you guys see the screen now?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. All right, so again, guys, basically, again, your support and resistance, your first thing you want to start with. I don't, might not be considered an indicator. I do consider it an indicator because, it's just part of the arsenal, man. It's definitely part of the tools that I use to trade every day, and I start every chart. Without that, just I look for that. I look for that, points of rejections, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strong points of rejection, right? So again, it's going to show you that once it does break that, which is tapping it over and over, once it does break, boom, right? Like look at the difference in that candle on that run up. And not only did it run up, it didn't come back down. It ran up, gave you a new high, right, for the day, whatever, held its ground, right? Like it's still holding a whole new support now. So this is why I really like adding these zones. But once you get this down packed, then you can start learning supply and demand, and that's all there is, man. They're pretty much your support and resistance. Only, like, as you can see, I'm adding it to an area instead of just a line, right? Like it just I want to say broadens your mind out to see, where it can reject. And again, it just doesn't give you that point. It gives you like a good space and area where you can kind of catch it. So supporting resistance, guys, man. Everything as soon as I chart, first thing I want to do is that. Any questions? If not, I'll start moving over to the first indicator that you guys can start with if you're not too familiar with. I think it's pretty it's one of, I think a lot of people start with this one, is of course is your regular RSI. But again, if you guys have any questions now on support and resistance or supply and demand, please let me know now. If not, we'll continue.
Do you figure out the difference between like the order blocks and the supply and demands?
Brother, to be honest, I've never used order blocks. I hear people use it, so I can't really give you my
The only,
is it?
hey, Kenny, so the only difference between an order block and a supply
Mhm.
and demand is actually just the candle. So if you look at the candle where supply zone or demand zone is supposed to be, it's the one that initiates the big jump.
Yeah.
And then if you do the order block, is the one right before it. So the one that, like, if you're going down,
Order.
it's the red one right before the big jump.
Yeah, so it's the last bullish candle before a drop,
Yeah,
or the last bearish candle before a pump.
yeah.
So it would
And
be what?
supply,
This would be the drop, and then this would be the pop. I'm assuming where the order blocks go, because these are the
yeah.
highest
So
points.
here I could probably share my screen real quick.
Yeah, let me see, because I've never used order blocks, but I hear they kind of have the similarities, and they don't. I always hear order block is just one area. I kind of I use demand because I think it's supposed to just be, mind you, demands and supplies are supposed to be like this, where this was the supply zone, and once this broke, it invalidates, right? I tend to keep it because sometimes even if I scroll it back or forward, I'll see it hit again, even though it invalidates it. But technically, these are, the way you're really supposed to do your supply and demand. Once it breaks this, boom, invalidates that. Now, if it was to break this demand zone, let's say here, then this is where it stops and it invalidates. All right, now let me see your
Kenny,
screen, brother, so I can see what you're talking about with the order blocks.
Wait up. Let me see if it even lets me. I'm at work, man.
My bad.
You know how it is.
Yeah, man.
Kenny,
Let's
do
see.
you remember Astro's stream?
Which one? Which
I
one?
think it was I think it was Astro. You gave a class about supply and demand, and he showed pretty well how to draw those order blocks in that stream. Don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I think his last class he did that one. I didn't get to see that one. I think I've definitely recorded those there.
The thing is not letting me. Just doing the little thinking. All right. I'll actually put one up on the chat.
All right. So wait, or is it part of the smart money concept, the order blocks, or is it just again its own thing?
Well, it's used in smart money concepts, yeah.
Yeah, that man Astro's a monster
Yeah,
with that, man.
there we go. I think it lets me now. Let's see if I can bring it up. You guys see it?
Oh, you live?
I think so.
Yeah.
You guys see it?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
doing the dance. No,
Loading.
says has minimized their application.
It's a streamception.
Screen
Yeah,
inception.
it's transmission in pause. This says.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Yeah, it's probably not gonna let me.
Fuck. So do the screenshot and send it in GBT, and I'll look at it now.
I'll just put one up, an example on the chat.
All right. Yeah, again, I want to take a look at it again because I've heard
Kenny,
very similar
Kenny, if you take a look at my screen, I think I have a pretty good example. I was actually talking, but I had myself muted. Can you see it, or is it still loading?
That's still loading.
God damn it.
Oh shit, what's up with you guys today, man? What's up with the stream today? It's not working.
That's better.
Let me see. Nah, it's still loading too.
You guys see him? Finally? Maybe.
It's still loading. Dude, it's doing the same for me.
Theo's still
Kenny has
loading.
blocked this probably.
Yeah. What's up, you guys? Yeah, you guys, man. What's up with the Wi-Fi, bro? Nah, it's not loading for me.
Hey, Kenny, may I ask you a question while it's loading?
Absolutely, brother. What's up? What's on your mind?
Hey, I want to know, you work with deals like this algorithmic websites like Viper Algo, Lux Algo, Ziaman. I want to know if you pick just one and recommend me one of these, which one would be the best?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I'll go over one during this class if you want. If you're very new to it, I'll go over, like, let me see if I can, because I think I only have access now to only one of them. They gave it to us for the first few months, and we had a few sessions, live sessions where we kind of went over some of them. But yeah, I'll go over the one I have. I think it's Viper Algo that I still have. And that one, it's a basic one if you're really starting. It has a lot of dope features, so I'll definitely go over that one if you want to check it out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys.
So
I'm gonna
Zenman,
continue.
it's not recommended, Zenman, because their website looks pretty good.
Oh, the Zimmerman is dope. Like that's the thing. I think they have the levels, right? So as far as beginner, I would definitely start with Viper. Medium, I would probably do. Um, which one is it? I think the Zimmerman is pretty dope, or the Lux, right? And then I think the most complex one to me, I think that really, tests your knowledge is the Sonar Lab. I like the Sonar Lab, man. The Sonar Lab is pretty dope, and I
Mm.
think it has it works perfectly with smart money concepts. So I think I learned a bit of it just using it, for the first month that they gave it to us, for free to use, was pretty dope. So that's that kind of, I guess, your different levels of which ones you want to use like that. Or
Mm. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Okay. Good to
somebody
know.
server muted Jay Leezy. Jay Leezy in the
Kenny, I've
house.
showed you a screenshot
All
in
right,
the
guys, I'm
general
gonna
chat.
continue, man. Let me see. Well, I think they posted it now. Theo.
And the general chat, I've placed something.
So is that it though? That's the same shit as a supply
Yeah.
zone, no?
Hey, Kenny, I just posted in the chat in the this one right here for the
The
VC.
VC chat. All right.
It's almost similar. It's just a candle. One is before, one is after.
So it literally
Yeah. So,
grabs the lowest candle.
so basically, it's the candle, the pump that breaks structure.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go all the way back to the low, and it's the last candle in the opposite direction.
Okay. So it
So if
kind of
it's
gives you
going
the
up,
lowest point, right? Like the lowest point of the demand. Because even in this one that I'm looking at, the APT 30-minute one, right? Like that lowest one is I'm guessing that's the order block, right? Now, if
yeah,
I go above it, I still see a little bit one at 15,500, which that would be another demand. Where it's at
yeah,
right now, it's kind of created a demand zone. I think it just broke it on these last three candles. And that's just vision, right? Like that's just me looking at it as far as demand
yeah,
zone. So to me, order blocks would just be the lowest point, right? Like that's, and again, those are probably great fucking entries, right? Because if like you see it, once it hit that point right there, it broke market structure, right? There goes your downtrend. There goes the downtrend it was on, broke it right there, and obviously flew to fucking hell and back, man. And even broke the SMA lines that you have here. I don't know which ones are these, but I'm guessing this is a 200 and the 50.
And there's the EMA, it's a 50, 200.
Ah, my man, you see that? Yeah. So yeah, look, like I mean, shit, yeah, it definitely grabs the lowest point, and then I think I saw the one that Theo posted. It had the highest point, which we even
yeah,
had a supply zone on that point. So yeah, that thing. I mean, I want to say they're pretty much
yeah.
the same, right? Like I
They
think we
are
can
pretty
all
much the
agree.
same, but
Yeah,
again, an
essentially they
order
are.
block.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
they are
beautiful.
essentially the same, but an order block is one candle.
Yeah,
While a demand zone can be like more of a zone that
okay,
has multiple touches.
Yeah, it could be usually for the supply demand. It's like 4 or 2 candles. You could go up to 2 candles.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah, depending. It's mainly based on what you're doing too. I mean, it's usually the numbers for supply demand are 2 or 4.
Okay. All right, beautiful. All right, man. So that's it, guys. Again, that's pretty much if you want to always just start a good chart off like that, man. You can do this on any time frame, right? We can go scale down to our 1 minute. Here, let me erase all of this and I'll start these. Right, you can scale it from a 1 minute, get your lowest points, and again, right, like there's your demand right here. A few points, right? One, two, nice little run up, run up, run up, right? That's it. That's your demand zone. Supply would be more or less something like this. And I'm guessing the order block would be on this one, right? It would be from the top, from there. If I'm assuming correctly, I'll do some more homework on the order block. Make sure I know exactly, so I can teach you guys, exactly what that is. An exact difference, right? But again, not much of a difference. But once you got that right, like you can either wait for the move, right? You can play the consolidation again, right? It's always gonna lead to this. It's always gonna lead to boxing in, right? Again, 1 minute, same thing. It's gonna lead to a nice little boxing in where you can either play your shorts off of your supply zone, right? Or you can play your longs off of your support slash demand zones. Okay. Then, either look for the breakout. Obviously the breakouts again, they're just gonna give you stronger moves. So, this is just what basic man you want to just kind of do. The first thing you want to do when you open up a chart, at least that's the first thing I do, is just that, man. I want to find consolidation. I want to see where I can play it off of, either support, resistance. First thing, guys, very very effective, man. I think all levels, honestly, I think should always know this. If not, again, man, let me know. I'll hit you with some videos that'll really show you, break it down. And again, I've had a few that I've drilled in my head more than enough times, man, to really learn this. Um, same thing for your daily, right? You want to find your resistance. Resistance was here, broke, led to a nice breakout, right? Support, kept holding around here. Could draw a nice little demand zone and see where it held the support. So first, again, foremost thing you want to do. Now, once you have that, guys, then, right, if you want to start with some indicators, I want to say the very basic indicator, bro, like, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. They kind of started with was the relative strength indicator, the RSI. Right now, I do not like it with this purple line, so I'm gonna take this off quick if it lets me. So is the band. All right, that's the one. All right, I like to just kind of keep it simple with the regular line. So a lot of people use this as for that, man. They look for it, kind of resembles, right, your movement, your price action, right? It's a moving average that resembles your price action. You know, you have your levels. People use it in different ranges, right? Either some people like to just use it buying it as far as longs. They only wait, and again, this is one indicator that I think I first started off with in stocks and options, you know, many moons ago, right? Like almost 3 years ago. And I used to look for that, right? I used to kind of look for that exact move, right? You know, you look for these humps to see if they kind of match, you know. The beautiful thing about the RSI is that either you can use it in different ways, right? Where you can use it for overbought to get your shorts, right? And they're supposed to kind of look something like this, where if you bought it here, right? And this is a 5 minute, you know, you kind of profited on that spike down, right? Because you bought it in that oversold, you know, I mean, excuse me, overbought, and again, you're trying to play it on the downside. Same thing goes for your longs, right? A lot of people use this, they wait for this level, and again, you have your over sold under 30, and I think the overbought is, I believe, is above 70. Okay, so same thing for your oversold, right? You wait for it to come down here, even if you bought it in that nice little spike, you know, coming down near a strong demand zone like this, boom, right? Have it coming right back in, bought along, scalped it, you know. Real simple indicator. The beauty about it, again, not only can you use it for overbought, oversold, or kind of give you like a nice little glimpse of how your candles are running, but you know, people have the divergences. Now that I'll touch up on the next class. I'm gonna do some more homework on it that I can really break it down for you guys. You know, you use this for divergences, right? You use for, and the way people use it. Let me see if I can spot any on here. Actually, I was on one earlier, wasn't I? When I was okay,
Yeah,
right?
right
So
there. That's one.
yeah, exactly, right here, guys. So
Then
this
there's
is
another
one,
bullish one
and this is a bullish one,
after
yeah.
that. That's a bearish one, and after that there's a bullish one.
All right, so I believe if you spot it on your, again, and I'm gonna break this down more in detail in our next part two class to go more into depth of the hidden and, you know, bullish and bearish divergence and things like or in your regular one. But this is one right here, right? Whereas your RSI is showing you two different highs, right? Showing you like if it's almost going on an uptrend. Now, if you follow right here and to right here, right, meets your two highest points. It's not
Yeah,
doing that. It's
exactly.
doing the complete opposite. Yeah.
Basically, what it means is your price is
It's
making higher
bearish.
highs, while your RSI is making lower highs,
Mm-hmm.
which means that even though the price is rising, the momentum is failing. So that
Exactly.
can only result in a downtrend afterwards. So that's
Bro.
basically a reversal pattern.
Bam. Right. And
And
again, you
then
have no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
right at the low after the green line you drew, yeah, right there,
Yeah.
a little bit to the a
Right
little
here.
bit to the right, and then the lowest point to
Right
the
here.
right,
Keep going to
right,
the right. Keep going to the right.
going to the
Keep
right,
going.
yes,
Right there.
there.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
That
Oh,
and
right
then
here.
to the next low you have a
Yeah.
lower low, while the RSI is making a higher low. So that's a bullish one.
Then from here to
Well, it's
here.
not
No,
actually
from here.
higher, but it's equal. It's equal low, and that also counts.
The divergence
And we'll
usually
do the
breaks
equals white. So
when
yeah, there's a few examples right there, right?
So
Bearish.
again, the price is making a lower low. That means that it's actually going lower, while the RSI is staying the same. So the momentum is staying the same, and the price is going lower. But that can only result in going up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
guys.
the
You see,
theory
so
behind it.
that's the beauty of RSI, man. Again, I personally myself want to get a lot better at this. 'Cause I'm seeing a lot of traders use this, man. And when you start seeing a lot of traders use a certain thing, you know, you gotta, I mean, expect it to work, right? Like that's why so many people are using it. Elliott
Now
wave,
there's
we
one thing I
say it
can
again.
add. There's one thing I'd like to add. If you click on the gear icon on the RSI, so the settings,
Yeah.
you can see if you go to the inputs tab, you can see the source of the RSI is matched to close, which means that the RSI is using the closed price to calculate its data. And that's why I always like to draw the lines on the price to spot the divergences from the closed point and not the highest point.
Mm. I see
Because
what
you
you mean.
can have a very high wick, but
Yeah.
that doesn't count because it doesn't see that wick, it only see the close price.
Shit.
That's just something I'd like to keep in mind.
So pretty much if you have it on default, right? It stays on close like that,
Yeah,
the way it
yeah,
was. Okay.
exactly.
Alright. Yeah, there was one video I was looking at, even on RSIs, where they kind of break it down, where they go to, show you just, they really show you how to tighten it up, where you can obviously change your settings, your MA lines, uh the daily lines, and it gives you just different readings for different, again, there's so many different ways of trading that if you really dissect this, you can really fine tune it to what you trade, right? Like if you're a swinger, again, there's certain settings on this that you can add to it, that'll make it look better and more appealing for swings, the bigger time frames. And again, there's certain settings that if you're a scalper, right? 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, there's really tight settings where you can fine tune it to really kind of grab these things sooner than later. But again, that's just all on the person, right? Like me, I've only fine tuned one indicator since I've started trading, and that's the super trends. And that's one that I was like really in love with. Everything else, I use the default, But again, I know a lot of guys. I think Twisted Churro, I'm pretty sure is one of them. I remember, he fines tunes. He goes into every setting, man, and every indicator he uses, and he plays with it to, really see what he can, find out. The more you tighten it up, or the more you loosen it, and see certain moves, right? And again, that's what you want to find in any of these indicators that we're going to go over. You want to find things that are appealing to you, right? Like if you can find a bearish diversion like this, by actually seeing it, boom, right? Oh shit, well, the price is going up, indicator points are going down, there's your bearish diversion. Well, let me get in on a short. Boom, oh shit, well, damn, it happened to play out beautifully. And not only that, right? But what did we start with? We started off with a nice resistance point. We started with a nice support, right? So, I mean, shit, man, we're at resistance, right? That's one indication. And again, if I didn't go over this at the beginning, one of the ways that I trade with, and the reason I have so many indicators is that I'm a man of probability, right? If I have 10 indicators running, which, you'll go to any one of my charts, look, you'll see them all here, 7, 8, 9, and I can only have up to 10 because I only paid for that one, right? But I'm one that trades off of probability, meaning that if I have up to at least 7 or 8 out of my 10 indicators showing me a nice fucking rejection here, or pointing to short, I'm gonna lean more towards it, right? I don't favor any indicator, right? I don't do not favor anyone. I've made that mistake before, and it shows me that you really can't just rely on one indicator. And you can, some people do it, some people don't. I personally like the system that I have, where I have 10 indicators, man. And shit, if seven are showing me a nice short, resistance is one, right? That would be strike one right there. Bearish diversion, two. If you only had those two to work with, then that's your 2 for 2 on a short that played out beautifully, right? Resistance, bearish diversion on your RSI, close to your even what's it called? Your overbought, right? So that's almost 3 for 3 right there. Boom, plays out beautifully, right? So, you know, get a system, guys, man. Like,
Any,
definitely go ahead. Yeah.
I think RSI divergence can also be used very good for taking profit. So imagine you are in a long and you are well into profit.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
taken some
God, yeah.
partials out. You
Hmm.
can hold it until you see RSI divergence.
Absolutely. Damn, look at this one, though. This spike fucking came all the way down here. They still close green and continue. That's crazy. But yeah, absolutely, man. If you grab the nice long, right, first thing, right, we have our support, right? We're looking at a nice bounce the first time. Let's say you grab this bounce with no RSI, with anything, right? And he's right, the minute it hit this one, it's already showing you that it's overbought, right? Like that's pretty much one good indication that, maybe it's time to take profits, right? Again, nothing goes up forever, right? Everything comes down eventually. So that's one indication, right? Then if you, let's say you're holding, your diamond handsing, obviously this would have scared the shit out of you right there. Would have probably made you question on if you should have taken profits or not. But the fact that it actually came back, you're still holding because, with diamond hands, it's still going, boom. Now you're seeing your price go up. You're seeing your indicator come down, right? Bearish diversion. Oh, shit, let me take profits here then. Perfect example, Theo. Absolutely, man. Boom, you take profits around here. Then all of this would have came down. His stop loss at entry, right? Out. But you still took profits, almost at his maximum point.
One quick little thing, where your mouse was just a few seconds ago.
Here.
Yeah, right at the top.
Please.
And now a little bit to the right, there's another good example of a supply zone, or a order block, I should say. So it's the last white candle on the upside.
This one.
Yeah, that white candle you see right there, that's a nice order block.
Okay.
Actually, the other one, the one to the right.
It's the one to the right.
Yeah, one was right.
That one. To the left. The white one. Yeah, that one. That's the order block.
No shit.
If you draw an imaginary box and swipe it to the right, you see it rejects perfectly off of that order block. I just happened to notice it. I thought it might be a nice addition.
Yeah, I gotta learn order blocks. So there, I'm not even.
Morning, people.
Morning. Yeah, that's a good one. I gotta check that shit out, man. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it for your RSI, guys. Any questions on that? If not, we will continue going on. Great tool to start with, man. If you haven't started off, I'm not gonna go over any EMA lines personally, guys, because I never use them. I know 90% of my friend traders all started with them. I personally, guys, never use it. This is the first indicator that I started options and stocks with, that I fell in love with, just trying to figure out the movements and things like that. And I never really gravitated towards any EMAs or SMAs. So, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys, bring it out and tell you exactly how it works, because I do not know. I don't use it. I got the basic knowledge of idea because I've been around, for a few years, and I've heard people use it. But I don't use it, guys. So the next thing I'm gonna go over is your stochastic, right? Like, if you like this indicator, think you will love the stochastic. And the reason I say that is because you can have, obviously both of them up as well, right? You can use this one for your bearish and bullish diversions, and then your stochastic for entries. And again, you're gonna see how both of them, we already showed you kind of once how it works really well with a nice strong support and a nice strong resistance system. So let me pull out the stochastic. All right, this is my baby right here, guys. So again, I used that RSI, man, faithfully for about a year and a half, right? Once I switched over to crypto, I tried to bring it over, and for me, it did not work as effectively as I liked. Again, I killed it in options, was getting fucking trampled in crypto for some reason, and I don't know, maybe I wasn't seeing it right at that time. And again, talking almost a year and a half ago. However, one of my cousins used to throw this in my head. He's like, Kenny, try the stochastic. Kenny, trust me, it's stochastic. And I kept blowing him off. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try it one day. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna try it. I always thank him, every time I talk to him now, because it seriously changed the way I trade, man. Like, this thing has gotten me entries like no tomorrow. Beautiful fucking entries. I mean, like on shorts, almost at the very top, longs almost at the very bottom next to a nice strong support. So it's one of my favorite indicators, honestly, to go over, and still used to this day. All right, and then I'll show you something else after this one, once I give you guys a good idea how this one works. So same exact thing, right? You got just your basic moving average lines inside here. The way people use them, it's crossings, right? At least the way I use them, I kind of do a little system of both. Like I said on the RSI, some people use it more for your oversold areas. Some people use this indicator for your crossings. I kind of have a system where I kind of use both, but I do rely more on the crossings, and I'll tell you guys exactly why. All right, so first and foremost, right, strong support, strong resistance, which is our strong demand, strong supply zone, right? We already have that established. First thing we do on our chart. Now, the reason I tell you guys to always start off with that is because this indicator is one of the indicators that I use that works really fucking well with a nice rejection, off of your strong resistance, or a nice bounce off of your strong support, right? So first thing we have here is just long, right? Long opportunity, okay? So boom, run up right here, right? We started building some kind of little support system right here. Let me actually narrow it down to that candle right there. Started building your demand zone here, right? So you already can build it off of this. Even after that run, it came down, bounced exactly. They're showing you that we have strong support, right? Because instead of breaking or plowing right through it, like it was showing with all these bigger candles, right? Now, and look, now even on this one, you had a big fucking red candle, dude. But the first, it bounced off of it once, closed up, right? Tried it again, boom. Now we really tried it again, right? Then we got the initial trend reversal right after that. Now, if you go down here, the way I use this indicator is I look for the crossings, man. I look for your blue cutting into the orange, right? From the top is your shorts, and then from your bottom is your longs, right? And they look like this, your blue cutting in. It almost looks like a little X every time. Okay, look, you can even get it up here, right here. What is this? Down, then it's up right here again, down, up. All right, so right here is your perfect entry, right? You have it in your oversold area, right? Which is ideally what you want for your longs. You want to get them in a nice oversold area. Now let me see if I can pinpoint exactly where the crossing happened right there. This one right here. So okay, this one. All right. So, well, no, obviously not because we were all the way up there. So once it bounced on here, right? We're still down here. There you go. There's your crossing. All right. So once it bounces, strong support. That wick is all the way down there, right? I even trickle it down to like a 3 so we can really see it. And even on the 3-minute, it crosses about right here, right? So again, you're coming down. It's a nice, strong support bounce. This is why I tell you, man, like even with your indicators, you'll see more initial reaction with a strong support or a strong demand bounce than you would with your indicators, right? But you get the bounce, you get a crossing, entry on a nice bounce, 2 for 2, right? Working on a support, strike 1, strike 2, crossing, plays out. All right, 5-minute. Where's our crossing? There it is. All right, same thing down here, right? 5-minute. 5-minute, we waited for this candle. Still, bounce right in there, crossing, performed. Right? Now, same thing for your shorts. Your shorts, you have a crossing right up here. And again, you see, this is why I say I like to, you'll have multiple crossings, and I teach this in my one-on-ones, right? Like, you're gonna have multiple crossings, and this is something that's only gonna come with experience, right? You're gonna have crossings in the middle sometimes, but again, some of these even, show you really good results, right? I personally try to look for the ones, my longs, to make sure that they're kind of under here, and my shorts, right up here. And if we're coming next to a nice strong resistance like we did right here with a nice crossing, your entry is there, right? Boom, played out all the way until here, right? Now, mind you, look at all those crossings, right? This is why, again, I like to personally use this indicator for my entries. Once I have a good entry, I try to drift off of it, and that's where the next indicator will come into it. But as long as I get a good entry, on a nice short like this, that's just going sideways, it's not pushing up past resistance, past the supply zone, but it's also not breaking support, right? Like until almost right here, and then it finally initially dropped. But if I would have been paying attention to this, then I would have let it go right here, right? Because this was a crossing going up. Another thing you want to pay attention to when you do this indicator is your trends, right? If you're having nice lower highs like we were having here, well, let me see if I can catch it here. All right, move this one down. See, right to the body. This is what I look for when I look for these trends, man. 1, 2 touches, 3 exactly right there. Touches at 4, and almost right here, 5. All right, so a nice little downtrend like this as well, right? Like this is why I encourage it, man. Do your trend lines first. Do your support and resistance. Once you have that, then I think all of these will kind of play out a lot better. But in this case, same thing, right? Now we have a trend going down. We have a rejection on your supply zone. Even this crossing right here, like they tend to kind of almost work off of this, right? Off of your trend line, because now your trend line is a resistance. If I also put this, clone it, and move it, oh shit, that one, this one right here. Now you kind of put it almost in a bearish channel, right? Now you got a bearish channel going on. So the same exact thing, right? The whole point is to have your support and resistance, to box it in. So just because we're going in an angle in a bearish channel doesn't mean that you can't box it in like this, right? This is now your support. This is now your resistance, okay? So what do you see every time you're hitting off of this resistance wall? Look at these crossings. Boom. Resistance right there, crossing, entry, played out, right? Right here. What are you rejecting off of? It's not rejecting off of this supply zone. It's rejecting off of this trend line resistance, right? Crossing again. These are what I look for, man. If I see that I'm in a nice bullish channel, then I'm looking for these crossings hitting off of any one of this, of any part of this resistance, right? Not looking for anyone. I've even gotten it here, guys. I've even gotten some of these that bounce up to here, reject, and the crossing is right here. And I'll still get in it because it's still following this. And then it'll cross down here and boom, something like this will happen sometimes, right? So am I aware when I say, as far as if you're getting a crossing here, if you're shorting anywhere in your oversold area, it's very fucking risky, man. Like those are one of the ones that I've always typed on out. Guys, super risky because is at that zone where, yeah, it's very risky for your short. Does it mean that it can't play out? Absolutely not. It still can play out, right? Like look how low this one is right here. And you had a crossing here that fucking spiked down all the way down to here. And this one spiked down to here. And you got an entry anywhere here, right? So it's just how you follow it. If you're following it on a trend like this, you'll notice that these crossings are just, they'll keep almost hitting every time you come up to the nice wall. And then again for your uptrend, right? Like right here, had a nice bounce. Boom, this wick came down, crossing for your long right there, played out, right? All the way to here. So crossings, man. Crossings on this thing is they're deadly, man. And again, you can look up any video. I looked up a few the other day, man, just to make sure, I sharpen up my eyes with this and I'm using it correctly. And they all say the same thing, that this is by far, I want to say, one of the best entry tools if you use it correctly. That it'll really get you a clutch entry, man. And if you kind of understand how to use this, it'll come with time, right? Like this is why I like to, hover over, just playing with these over and over, because a lot of the videos don't explain certain things, right? Like some videos just will tell you about crossings, the other one is just going to tell you about overbought. When you kind of mix it in together, and then you also see how well it plays off of a nice resistance or a nice resistance trend line or support trend line or a nice supply and demand zone, you'll see the difference, right? Like you really, really start to see the difference. Again, bearish channel going on right here, bounces off of your nice little supply slash support, right? Right there, crossing right here. Boom, entered here, right? You wanted to make sure it bounced the first time off of support. You got your crossing here. Look what this crossing led to. Bam, right? Like it's just that, man. It's just really, I really, really want you guys to just use this off of a nice rejection or a nice support. If you can find it, right? Like once you find it, again, right here, another beautiful crossing. Like if you really follow these, and look, right, you see crossings all over. I'm not hovering over any of those. Why? Because it's smack dab in the middle from support and resistance. Excuse me, support and resistance, right? Not worrying about these crossings, not even worrying about this one, even though this one, obviously, right? But it was, the flash drop, came right back up, still really didn't lead to anything until you held it for this long. But even here, crossing all the way down here, not really looking at it. Why? Because it's not really holding over support. It's smack dab in the middle. However, you come to resistance, right? Now we're at supply. Boom, crossing right there. Bam, bam. Beautiful. Beautiful, right? That's profits right there. So that's it, man. That's pretty much it for your stochastic. Here, look, got another example right here, right? Nice little bounce off of support. Crossing was there or there, right? Red, or if you bought it here, led to still in profits right now. So, any questions on your stochastic? If not, we will move on to the next indicator. Bam, bam. All right. So that is your stochastic. Let's move over to your MACD. Let me take this one off. All right. Moving average conversions divergence. All right, this is one of my favorites, man. Honestly, I've been using this one for long. long time, guys. This is again one of the ones that first started off with the regular RSI. However, I stayed with this one, never let it go, because I like it that much, man. I really do like this indicator a lot. I'm a momentum slash trend indicator kind of guy, right? So I'm always looking for momentum and trends, and this one I think is just again being that it's one of the old school, indicators. I think it sticks out because of that, and this is why a lot of old school guys still use this to this day. Now, your lines, right? You still have your moving averages, just like your stochastic RSI. Same exact concept, man. Like I would really emphasize on that. Same exact concept where all I do with the MACD or what I look for is a nice crossing, right? Your blue line is your main lead line. You're looking for that blue cutting into the orange. Your middle is called the MACD histogram. The way it works is like an oscillator, right? As far as when you have nice, strong, bullish momentum, you have your strong green histogram piling up. When it's dying down, you'll see light green like this, showing you that your momentum is in fact dying down. Again, I tell this all the time to my students. Just because you see the momentum is dying doesn't mean that it's going to flip every time, right? Like this is one of your rare occasions, even here sometimes where it's just strong and then it dies down, right? A lot of the times you'll see this, right? You see strong momentum die down, strong, it'll pick up depending again what the trend is doing. But it's good, man. It's really good to identify your trend. Now, again, this is another one where it takes experience to really kind of get a good hang of how your MACD works. One thing I've learned, I want to say now, maybe like 8 months ago, and again, I've been using this one for almost 2, 3 years now, that I really started to catch on was I started to follow these lines, right? As far as not only was I looking at crossings, but now as I was starting to use these lines as far as oversold and overbought, right? Like, and just like our um stochastic and our regular RSI has a oversold overbought. And I don't even put these lines. I just mentally like look at it. But to me, I'm starting to use this as my oversold, excuse me, down here, and overbought lines, right? And why I say that is because even at this point, man, I've caught myself a lot of the times um catching this right up here, right? Like as far as the long, oh shit, this looks like it's gonna continue running up because the momentum is looking strong. However, I jump in on a long, or even look when your lines are just all the way up here, and I think even this one shows you your what's it called, your divergences as well, if I'm not mistaken. Blue to blue right here, and then bam to bam. So this one, I think a lot of people do use this as well for divergences, but again, we'll go over that next week. As far as being just overbought, man, I've gotten a lot of shit trades, longs, buying up here, right? This whole little area up here where your K and your D line are all the way up here, your EMA lines on your MACD, but again, it's just like your RSI where it's if you're longing up here, it's fucking risky, dude. You're risky. You're also close to resistance, right? So that should give you a nice indication that this probably won't break. If it does, again, it's just gonna be riding up here for a long time, which again doesn't happen too often, right? Like you'll see it. This is rare occasions, and again, look at what the market's been doing, where you see it rise up this fucking high, man. Like, dude, it went up to 200 points on this. It's crazy, right? But then look at everywhere else; it hasn't done that in a while, right? Like, when the hell was the last time? All the way back here, where it ran up that high, right? So, um, it's really, really risky to long when it's up there. I've noticed that. I want to say shit, man, seven or about 6, 7%, right? Like of 10 trades, I want to say when I long up here, they don't go that way, man. They don't go the way that I want. Um, I kind of almost catch the brunt of a downtrend sometimes when it does that. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you're longing something, even if you're stochastic, it's oversold, right? And you want to long something, but this is overbought. Keep that in mind, right? Where just they contradict each other sometimes. This is why I like to add more indicators to kind of give me more, because you're gonna have that. You're gonna have indicators that, one is gonna show you bullish, the other one's gonna show you bearish, and that's when that tier system for me just comes into play, where I start Xing them out, the ones that I'm not using, right? I mean, the ones that are just saying it's not good enough, but if 10 or again if 7, 8 of them are showing me it is, then I'll go with the other 7 or 8, and this is why I don't personally favor any of them. But yeah, just keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind that whenever these lines are up here, it's very risky for your long. Doesn't mean that it can't play out, but it's a huge risk. Same thing for your shorts, right? Like I look for these crossings, you know, but I know if they're down here, if this is my overbought area, right? I mean my oversold area, then it's a fucking risky short, man. So look for your crossings, of course. The lowest, I think it's always better, right? Lowest point of these crossings sometimes, and also look for your trend, man. Whenever I find these, I also pay attention to trend, right? Let me see if I can find it on this one right here. Erase this. I want to find a good trend break to see if I can identify it on the MACD, right? So here you got a trend break, okay? And then here you have your support as well. All right, so before we ran to all of this, right? Getting lower highs, you're in a downtrend. Right here, you had a crossing, right? Not only you have another bounce, right? And this is why I tell you, even this one works really nice. Just like your stochastic, if anything, I just swear, man, I swear your stochastic will probably give you this entry opposed to this one. But look at your MACD, man. Your MACD works just as well with a nice bounce on the inside. If anything, it's a little delayed as far as your entry. It's not going to always give you the lowest point, which is why I favor the stochastic when it comes to entry. But then once I get that really low entry on a nice stochastic, I kind of lean more towards the MACD because it's just more flowing, right? Like it's just more of a flowing chart. Um, and they kind of just overall tell you the picture, right? You got a nice crossing on the bottom, which is what I told you, what I look for, right? In our oversold area, which is ideally, right, what you want for your longs. Boom, you entered on that first crossing, got an entry right here that led to not only that, right? It led to a breakout. So you kind of almost anticipated the breakout on this, got it. But you still had a nice bounce, right? You still had a nice bounce on a nice strong support slash demand, nice crossing. Your MACD histogram turned from a dying downtrend into an uptrend. So that was another plus right there. Bam, that led to just something that ran beautifully, beautifully, and never came back down to entry. So, again, as you can see, right? Shitload of crossings all over, man. Same thing with your stochastic. It's a certain way how you use it that could really be effective, man. When I really take my time with these things, guys, and I really get to sit down, which again doesn't happen often, man. I'm a busy man, I'm a father, run a business. It's when I find the time to really sit down and really look at things like this, man, like they play out more than fuck, man. Like than I want to say, right? Like you're gonna play out a lot more than 8, 9, 10 times out of the 10 trades that you're making when you're really taking your time and trying to find these levels and patiently waiting for these crossings. That's the thing with me. I'm too impatient, right? I like to get in and out of scalps, but that's okay because I'm still learning, and this is how I was able to find systems like this is by back testing over and over. And I've seen that when I'm impatient and I'm grabbing some longs here, sometimes they play out, sometimes they don't. But I want to say when I'm really looking at demand zones, right, and a nice strong bounce off of my nice strong support with a nice low crossing like this, I want to say shit, man. 9 out of 10 times those trades play off fucking beautifully. It's just a matter of patience, waiting, for these right crossings, waiting, for the right resistance rejection that matches the crossing and things like that to really get you some top notch trades, man. It's just like I said, man. I like to gamble. I'm not. I don't. Let me rephrase that. I don't like to gamble, but I like to trade. And I know part of this process of trading is the more you trade, the more you're gonna learn. And everybody says it. I've heard it over and over. 50 million classes that I've attended myself, they tell you that the more you practice trading, the more you trade, the better you're gonna get. The more you trade, the more consistent you're gonna get, right? The better you're like, it's just a fact. It's with anything in life, right? The more you do something you start to get it. And this is why I trade so much. But I'm telling you guys, the days that I've gotten these, you've seen the results, man. Some of those shits go to 500%. So some of them go to 1,000%. Like those are the days that I'm really looking at these things and breaking it down and really sitting down and taking my time and getting a really good trade. Other than that, fuck, man. I'm a scalper, man. I'm always looking, for in and outs, simple trend breaks. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Right? I think what is it? We're in LRC now. I mean, we're just literally dancing. sideways, right? We got in at a fucking resistance point. Seb was right, but I'm still pretty bullish on this because we've been holding this demand zone, right? It's held it ever since. We're still down right now. We're not out, right? We just gotta wait for this nasty little. But again, like this is what TA does, right? Like, look, the trade didn't go the way I wanted to right away. Does it mean I'm gonna cut for a loss? No. Why, right? Like, look, we're just going through a downtrend, right? Just taught you a few things that I use right here. So let's go over that, right? There's your crossing. Mind you, again, this could have been a nice indication that I should have got out of this trade, right? We had a nice crossing on your stochastic all the way here on the 15-minute, which indicates a downtrend. However, it's not breaking trend lines, right? It's not breaking my demand. I haven't even got to DCA yet. So I'm not panicking, right? Again, trading is trading, man. Getting a pinpoint entry, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. This is why we practice and this is why we continue trading, right? So again, this is what I was seeing, right? Saw a nice little run up. I was looking at this, got in, right? However, we had a reversal and we do have some resistance around this area, okay? But we had a crossing. Look, MACD started to die down. We're in a downtrend right now, and that's fine, right? Just how we were in a downtrend here that didn't break all the way down here, we ended up flipping to an uptrend that still gave us a nice little run if you caught the bottom of this, right? So I'm still feeling pretty good on this trade. We just had a crossing right now on the stochastic. That's a good sign off of this candle. However, we're still in this downtrend, right? This is what TA does. It helps you identify these things. It helps you, not panic when you're in a trade that we can't control these things, guys. We have no control. I can't call fucking LRC, the owner, and say, "Hey, dude, pump this for me, man. I want to get out of this trade," right? It's we have no control over it. So what do? We break it down and see if it's a possibility that this can still come back, right? How many trades haven't we come back from? Right now we're following a downtrend. So if this does come to, DCA, do I see a crossing here? I'm gonna average down. If I don't see it, if it's still showing me nasty downtrend, then I'm just gonna let it hit stop loss and look for the next trade. But this is what TA does, man. It helps you break these things down, right? We're in a nasty downtrend. We had our crossing right there. We already had two crossings on this that kind of show us that we probably should have been getting out. But again, they're not downtrends that are breaking supports that hard. And we're still, I'm talking about it. We're still getting a fucking red candle. But that helps calm me down, right? As far as, all right, I see what's happening. It's showing me that we're in that downtrend. As long as we can weather the storm, right? Whenever you have a downtrend, look, since we've been up here, right? Look how many downtrends we've had. We've had this one, right? That started here. After that's a nice run up right here started. Okay. Never broke demand, right? Started to build demand here. Just came down to here, right? Then it played around. Still, mind you, showing us downtrend, dying down, strong, dying down, strong, strong, dying down, playing with it, but never breaking support. And again, I've noticed when things like that happen, when you're not really breaking support, these things tend to run, right? And I think it happened the other day. I cut, let me see if I can still have this chart. For BTC, I had a beautiful trade on BTC that I fucking cut because I was playing shorts and everything was what's it called? It was, I had it around here. I got this entry on BTC, right? This was my demand. DCA was here. Bounced a few times off of that DCA. Like, this is how I can pinpoint exactly where everything was at. DCA was there. Stop loss was about here. And I panicked and I let it go. Stop loss, right? And entry was here. Okay. Bam, bam. And then, of course, TPs were one there. And then there was like one here. And then it hit 3 TPs. That's how I know it. And I'll look for that chart. But again, right? Like, it wasn't the best entry, and that's fine, right? It still had downtrends, but we held this fucking demand. And we've been holding this demand for a while. Right? Had I held this trade, right? I cut it after I saw this shit. And again, I was profiting, I was hitting 200% on the other trades. What was it? Ape, fucking, we did a few of them, man, that night. Kava, I think was another one. We killed it on the shorts. However, I wasn't really paying attention to this. But once I saw that drop, I'm like, damn, we're gonna break this. I anticipated the break on this, which led me to cut it, right? For a loss. Man, look, never fucking it only bounced twice off of DCA, never came close to stop loss. Bam, dude. This is what happens when you have a downtrend that doesn't break levels, right? That doesn't break certain support levels. It tends to hold on, man. It tends to hold on, and then it just boom spikes out of nowhere. So that's what I'm hoping we can get on LRC if we don't hit stop loss, And again, right, this market is been pretty sideways, and especially with this one, like it's literally ran up here and it's just sideways as shit right now. So still a possibility, right? But again, knowing these things is what helps me hold them, right? Me not paying attention to this trade because I was so into the other shorts. I panicked, when I saw all this. I should have DCA'd, man. That would have been a fucking great. Would have probably brought it down to here, and I would have been doubled in my in my margin with something that led to a double bottom that exploded, and it would have hit all three TPs, right? So again, man. But again, I took my eye off, and then this is why I like to really focus one trade at a time, and I never really like having more than 2, 3 trades open because I like to really get into these trades, man. I really like to see what's happening. It gives me an idea if I should be holding, and I also look at certain patterns, man. I look at certain patterns, repetition, and things like that to see what I can identify for the next time I'm on another trade that kind of shows something similar to see if it'll happen again. And I've seen it happen again, especially when you kind of recognize certain moves on these things. So that's pretty much it for your MACD. Any questions on your MACD? Let me go back to this chart. Bam, bam, looking nice crossing right now. Fuck, come on, big.
The squeeze momentum kind of works like the MACD, right?
It works like the histogram. It works like the histogram as far as, just giving you that wave of momentum, right? When it's kind of bullish, it'll show you the bars from above. And then when it's kind of coming down, the squeeze momentum, it'll show you the bearish, bars coming down, whether it's strong or dying down.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, should I just use the MACD or stay on the squeeze? But I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they watch, and even if I put it, I mean, I feel like they both have their things, right? Like as far as with the squeeze momentum or any oscillator like that, I feel like um I like that they kind of almost favor the bigger picture as far as you see just overall momentum on them. MACD to me is way more sensitive than any of those, right? Like it picks up even if it's sideways, right? It's just picking up any little downtrend, right? Like this little downtrend, it picked it up, even gave us a little bit of this uptrend, a little late, but another downtrend, right? Like it's always constantly just picking up these little trends. Um, Quick, right? Like look at even now, right? Just picked up this downtrend and look what's already happening. So I like that this one is super sensitive like that. I think even let me see if I can add it now. The lazy one and even any oscillator that I've used, it's always just, you see, overall picture, right? Like as far as this is an overall uptrend, right? Where you're getting lower highs. That's what it's showing you. It's an overall uptrend, right? Strong uptrend, dying down, almost switched over, but didn't. It picked right back up for a strong uptrend, which shows dies down, it's still an uptrend, strong, dies down, strong, and now it's dying down again.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, I was just curious how close they were.
Yeah, dude. That's why I always have all three, right? Whenever I have my charts,
yeah.
I have my stochastic on top, I have my MACD, and I have the lazy because I know they're similar in their ways, but I know that this one just sometimes gives me like almost an overall better uh view of the whole, of the whole picture on this thing.
I just have to buy TradingView.
Say it again.
I said I might just have to buy TradingView.
Oh, I love TradingView, man. This is honestly one of the best tools for the job, man. Like they always say, get the right tools for the job, man. This is it, man. Like it doesn't get better than this. And again, right, like even if you decide one day you want to switch to stocks, well, shit, they have every stock here. If you want to completely switch to Forex, right? Like instead of having to use, hey, you just downloaded Thinkorswim, used it for stocks, and oh shit, next week you want to switch over to Forex, and now you got to download Forex.com, and like all the different ones, like everything is here, man. Literally every chart you'll find is here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna switch to MEXC for a little bit and see how I like that.
Yeah, same here, man. I actually have my account. I think I should just.
I want to play around with that 200x on that scalping strat I use. So.
I could dig that. Damn, Bitcoin is being a little.
Can you tell me if you use Fibonacci?
Brother, I have auto fibs. However, I won't lie to you, man. I've used it and I don't. I've always thought of fibs as just a basic support and support and resistance, right? Like, and again, if you scale these lines, they pretty much are, right? Like, if you go here, look, there's your support, right? Resistance, support, broke that support, nasty candle to show, almost resisted there, right? And that's your red line, right? Like that's what I've always used it for. I just feel like it's too many, right? Like, and when I do my support and resistance in between a nice zone like this, I don't like to have no more than, I want to say, 3 or 4 lines, right? Like if I was doing my support and resistance, it would almost look like this, okay, right? And let me show you this, right? And here, I'll go over each and every one of them too, right? So this one I would keep here, right? All right, that would be my first one. Rejection, a little bit of support, rejection, rejection, right? Support on the next one is right here. Support, not much here, but broke that one. That was the red one, right? That we just saw. Resistance, a little bit of support there. Rejection, 2 good lines, right? Number 3 right here, rejection, rejection, rejection. So good line, and then this one works as a support, support, a little bit of support, support, right there, a little bit of rejection and support, right? I think anything more than and again, everybody's different, right? Like I never like to have more than 2 or 3 lines like this. I've always kind of had them looking like this, like minor support and resistance lines. So I know that, that's what they are, right? Because again, it could turn to a support at one point and then, flip over and use it as a rejection the next point, right? So I like to kind of have it like that. Now, if we turn on these fibs, I'm pretty sure that a lot of them match, right? We already had the red one that matched. Let me see. This one doesn't. Let me see. Nah, so yeah, you see, Abo is that, they're just to me a lot of support lines that just trail back. But again, and everybody's different, right? Like some people like it, they know the exact meaning of each of the percentages, how it gets broken down. Damn, Bitcoin is really fucking dropping right now. Bitch, man, that's gonna fuck up this call. But yeah, brother, like I personally, I have my mixed emotions with fib line. So I personally never use it. No, man. All right, let me go over the next one, guys. Damn, dude, what the fuck's happening with Bitcoin right now? There it goes. Oh shit. Shit.
Look
All
at
right.
DYDX.
Huh? DYDX
Look
is
at
dropping.
DYDX, for it might be ready to drop soon.
Oh, dude, that was the number
Trading
one
view
runner
shows me
today.
that tomorrow will the US release economic data.
Well, tomorrow.
Yeah, when you switch to the right side, Friday, 8:30.
I don't know. I haven't checked any of the. Do they have any meetings or CPIs or any shit like that tomorrow? 'Cause that
Yeah,
could be a.
the candle killed me today.
Damn, yeah, this
The
guy's.
big one that goes down.
Yeah, this one is just fucking up the market right now. I don't like that drop, man. Still holding. Damn. All right, let's go over 2 more indicators so we could finish up this class and then we could get into some live trading. I mean, I want to see if we can maybe find something else besides this LRC that's just pretty much going sideways. Still on that downtrend though. Damn, man. With Bitcoin coming down like that, fuck, man. Fuckity fuck fuck. There's his next support, right? Have support about here. All right, yeah. Let me finish up this class and then we can see what else we can find in this market, man. Bam, bam, bam. Hold on. All right. So we went over MACD. We went over stochastic. Next one I'm gonna go over, guys, is Bollinger Bands, man. Now this is one that goes on top of your screen. It's not like your normal oscillators, right? Like we have on the bottom. I like it for numerous amount of things, man. This is one that I've also started working with at the very beginning. I'm trying to remember. So honestly, I don't use this with support and resistance, right? I think it would look a little more clearer with it by itself. It looks like shit now when you have it zoomed out like that for a reason. it actually it detects volatility, right? So as far as this, let me show you guys what I mean. So real quick, if you never use Bollinger Bands, okay, you have your top Bollinger Band, your middle Bollinger Band, and your bottom Bollinger Band, all right? Whenever your candles are in between your middle and your top Bollinger Band, that's supposed to represent an uptrend, right? Like right here. See, you stayed in between middle and top Bollinger Band, ran up beautifully, right, until it got to there. Once your candles break your middle Bollinger Band, right, and it goes in between your middle and your bottom Bollinger Band, then there's supposed to be a downtrend until it breaks again. All right, so it's one, it does that, right? It gives you kind of your trend. Also, once you get really start to look at this thing, and kind of focus on the middle line, it almost kind of points in the direction, man. And again, it's just something that it will come to you the more you use it. This is why I kind of like to zoom it out sometimes and kind of look at the direction where it's going, right? Because then once you're seeing it like this, okay? So it's almost kind of points at the direction that the candles are going. So I do look at that middle one for like almost a guideline, almost sometimes. Right now we're in a downtrend, right? It's in between your middle and bottom Bollinger Band. Now, again, what this indicator does that not too many indicators, again, not really many at all, does is it shows you volatility, right? So whenever your three lines are lined up like this, your top, middle, and your bottom Bollinger Band are close together like this, it's showing you that there's not really much volatility in the market, right? Which means that it's your basic sideways market. You'll have, little itty bitty candles, not much big body movements, but it's just again tightening up more and more, squeezing, like we like to say. And we all know what happens when you squeeze, right? When you squeeze, you either get a pop or a drop. So one thing that, again, this one shows you that not too many other indicators is that once it's ready to pop or drop, you'll see the mouth open, right? Like almost like it's doing right now. Okay. Um, you see the mouth pop. You'll see the top Bollinger Band curl back. You'll see the bottom curl back, and this is when you're either getting a pop or a drop. And right there shows it, right? So we got a drop. Um, started bouncing off of the bottom Bollinger Band, but as you can see, right, that the mouth is just after that nasty little drop, right? Big body, mind you, that came all the way down to here. Um, you'll see the difference, right, of how big the bubble was compared to how tight it was. Okay, so right here we're following downtrend, it's starting to squeeze again. Then you see the mouth opening up a little more, right? Again, volatility. Look at that drop when that happened. But then still closed. Right now, we're doing exactly that. Right now, it's starting to get a little volatile, right? Because it was kind of tightening up, but then look at the curl back on the mouth, and that's where we got that nasty drop. Now, just because we got these drops, man, as you can see, it's as long as it's volatile, right? These things could come back easily, man. Look how big the mouth got right here. To initial that nice pop, followed by a drop, followed by another pop, right? And then another drop. So it just shows you, man, that when this mouth is open, watch the moves, man. The moves could get really, really crazy. So keep an eye on that. And that's pretty much it for your Bollinger Band. Again, very old school indicator. Still, a lot of people use it to this day. Works really well if you want to, find volatility and kind of get a nice direction of what your candles are doing. 15-minute works pretty well as well. And the hour, I want to say sometimes I used to look at too in the hour. So that's Bollinger Bands. Any questions on that? If not, we move on. Using my man. Okay, Zane. All right. Then we're gonna go over this one last but not least, and then again, like I said, next week we'll continue on a lot more complex strategies. Oh wait, and one of you wanted me. You know what? Let's do the Viper because I know one of you wanted me to go over the algos, and then I'll save the rest of the algos for the other class. And again, more just a little more complex indicators for the following Thursday indicators class. So algos, man, algos is pretty much it's how you have these that are just kind of almost single and they kind of tell you one thing, and algo is almost something that pretty much does a lot of that shit in one, man. And if you can find the right algo, I think that'll show you a lot of the things that you're looking for, then it's clutch, right? Because you'll get it all in one shot, and you won't have to upgrade TradingView for to have a lot more slots open, right? So Viper is one of them that I do like to use. I think it's very cool as far as getting to know your basic, right? Your basic indicator or algo. This is a very easy one to start with. So this one has its own, cloud lines where, once they kind of break, right, showing you yourself, right? So if you got in here, I want to say pretty profitable, and it has a little buy and sell signals. I'm not big on the buy and sell signals, so I actually tend to turn them off because I really don't like anything like I'm old school, man. I like to do this thing myself. I like to get in on trades myself, and if I get in on a trade, if I'm long in something here because it felt, it looked good to me, then this is telling me sell, right? And even though I had a demand right here, right, and it never kind of broke, then I would have sold. I would have panicked, and if I would have gave this time, right, played off. So, again, just not really big on the buy and sell indicator, so you can just take that off. But this one is pretty sharp. I want to say I'm trying to find which time frame was it that I think it was a 15-minute that we were looking at before in the last class. That really showed us really nice entries for your shorts and your longs. And I think it was this one. It was the 15, right? Because look, this was a nice buy right here. Boom, went up to, and this one gives you TPs too. This is another beautiful thing. This one actually gives you TPs for what it does. Gave you an entry here. This one would have hit stop loss. And again, guys, every indicator, man, I'm gonna go over this over and over. It doesn't matter what indicator it is. None of them are 100%. So you know, they're not always going to be right. Not always going to give you the right answer to everyone. But if you do follow them and go back and really test them out, you'll see that a lot of these do kind of play out really, really nice. You just got to find the right time frame that suits it and things like that. So with this one, you have all of this. Mind you, I only have the trend cloud on, but if you were to kind of turn everything on, there it goes. It has dashboard. I still don't know what the fuck is this for. It's giving you kind of like long, short entries. But again, I don't use that part at all. Let me take that part off, right? Is that the one? I'll go dashboard. Oh, that's the one. Or not. There it goes. All right. So yeah, you see, and they even added a kind of linear channel to it now, which is pretty dope. Again, it's a lot of noise if you have everything on, which is why I like to kind of go, over each one by one to really kind of show you guys how each one works. Hold on, let me take TP levels off too. Bam, right? So this is what I mean, right? Like these things all have everything in one channel, man. In one indicator. So this one is your Bollinger Bands, pretty much, man. This is your bottom Bollinger Band, except that is missing the middle, which is why I think you gotta turn on which one is I think it's the middle. Hold on 1 second. The trend line. No, not the trend line, damn it. Reversal band. No, trend cloud, is it? Yeah, that's the one. So that's supposed to be like your middle Bollinger Band, right? Outer is your top, bottom is your bottom. Your bottom Bollinger Band. It's just like a newer version, right? Like a cooler version. If you want to ever back test that to see if it kind of does flow, turn on Bollinger Bands. Bam, there it is, right? See, same line, it outflows that. This one is your middle, and then your bottom. So yeah, these algos pretty much work just like that. It just kind of make it look nicer and cooler. Same thing, right? If it's in between this and that, the middle Bollinger Band and the top Bollinger Band, then that's your uptrend. If it breaks, right, there's your downtrend all the way like that, and it kind of shows you that red for that downtrend of what it should have been a good entry. If anything, I like the trend in the middle, and I like the outer cloud. I just don't like these buy and sell signals, man. They really do throw me off. Um, let's see what other things it has for it. We could turn those off. It has automatic support and resistance. I think these levels are pretty good, right? Kind of shows you your high is high and your low is low, right? If you long anything here, put a nice little stop loss under that. It did, yeah, I do like this one for that, man. Remember that this one actually does show you really nice support. And even if you want to kind of do your supply and demand, right? If you grab the two levels like that, you can almost now do your supply and demand. It really does help with that as well, right here, up here as well. Watch. I think if you kind of did it like this, there's your supply zone. you know. So it works really well teaching you guys how to actually do the your support and demand. We kind of follow it like that. And gives you a nice indication, man, how to just really start eyeing these support and resistance levels, man. So it has automatic support and resistance. I already did the trend line. Oh no, it also does trend lines for you too as well. Watch this. Here's where it had a trend line, but you had a trend break. Now it's almost retesting that trend break, which if it pushes up from here, that'll be a beauty. Because I think that'll give LRC a nice little push up. But look, we're having a nice reaction on our demand already. But that's looking still decent. I do like the trend lines on this. This one actually does a lot of good, really trend lines. So that can also help you, you know, learn how to do trend lines as well. Let me see. We already did the trend cloud, which was the middle. Yeah, and then that's it. Then it just has the um, this right here. So this is kind of just more of information than anything. As far as, you know, it's kind of giving you just a quick summary of what your 1 minute, 3 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute, you know, all the time frames are showing you that your smaller time frames, like the 1 and the 5 minutes, are looking a little bearish right now. However, your bigger time frames are all looking pretty bullish still. So, you know, that's just like a quick idea of what it's doing pretty much. Um, yeah, man, Viper is dope. Like I said, Viper is just, you know, it's. I think if you're first learning algos, you know, it's dope to kind of use that and get a nice grasp of it. Then, you know, once you get a good grasp of how these algos work, you know, it's just about finding the right one. And, you know, this is why we kind of added all the ones that we do have now. So you guys can pick and choose, man. You know, you don't have to fall in love with all of them or any of them, right? Like use one, try it out. You know, if it doesn't like it, cancel the membership, you know, try the next one, right? Like this is why we keep all these things here to get you guys discounts on each one. You know, you guys get 20% off Viper. Try it. If you don't like it, cancel it the next month. But the more complex ones, I want to say is definitely the Zimmerman and this one, the Sonar. I really do like the Sonar, man. I think I'm actually gonna buy that one myself. They gave it to a few of us to test out, you know, the first month, and it was pretty dope. And I like that this one kind of does order blocks like that as well. So, you know, try it out. Let me know what you guys think. The Lux is actually pretty dope as well. It has a lot of, and I think they just had an update too not too long ago. Really, really cool stuff. And the same thing with the Zimmerman, man. I think we get what 50% off of this one, if I'm not mistaken, off the quarterly. So yeah, take advantage of these things, man. That's what they're here for. You know, the tools just to help you trading out. You know, back test them. You like them, you keep them. If you don't, you cancel them. You know, but it definitely helps to learn these things, man. All right. That is pretty much it. Again, I'll go over more complex indicators like the linear. There's a few of them, man, that I really want to go over. In the next class, I want to go over what's it called? Going over divergences. So I'm gonna do a little more homework on it myself. I've always wanted to learn how to use it anyway, and that way I can really give you guys a better explanation of how to use it. But learning how to do bullish and bearish diversions, I think it'll be dope if we all kind of learn it together. So that'll be in the next class, next Thursday, I believe. If you're interested in going, go up to your events. That way you can get the notification. Don't forget to show interest too in the movie night Saturday. You know, and watch. I think Forrest Gump is winning right now, so make sure you hit that. But yeah, if you want to get a notification for the next classes, just hit here, and you'll get the notification. That way you guys do not forget, and it syncs to your time as well. Any questions, guys? You guys want me to go over real fast? If not, I think that is it. I'm gonna go grab something to eat, take my dog out, and then I will be back. Check on this LRC, which again, as long as Bitcoin holds, man, I think we should be okay. Should be okay. Even Bitcoin, you know, she did that beautiful run up yesterday. Beautiful, man. And held, right? We didn't come back down to shit, even though we had a few nasty little sell-offs today. Nothing too crazy, right? Like it didn't come back down to 22 again. Now we're holding above 23, which is why I keep telling you guys 24, 25, I think is right around the corner. But we'll see. We'll see. If not, we get a nasty rejection, come down to the 20s, the 18s, you know how we do, but we'll look at it obviously always and see what we can find on this every day, every week, see what other trends it wants to do, what possibilities. That's how we do all these lives, man, so we can really get into this. So if you guys don't have any questions, I am out, man. I will talk to you guys in a bit. Thanks, man. It was my first class try.
All right, thank you, Kenny.
All right, brother, man. You got it, man. My pleasure. All right. I will talk to you guys later, man. I'll hop on, see if we can get this trade. If we can get this fucking trade profitable, man, I want to come back later and see if we can jump in on another trade. But yeah, let me finish up a few things, man. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.